Okay. So this is the Honors Unit 1B Solving Equations and Inequalities review. So the first part is going to be our two-step equations. Sorry, I'm just grabbing my pen real quick. Okay, so remember the don't call me after midnight. So when you do these two-step equations, it's just the last two steps. It's add and subtract and then multiply or divide. So I'm going to subtract my constant because it's adding. If you want to draw a line down the middle, you can. Those cancel. So you get negative 3x equals negative 21. Next step, divide by negative 3. And then x is equal to a positive 7. All right. Next equation. We're going to get rid of the constant. So I have a negative 9. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides. And then I get 35 equals 7m. Divide both sides by 7. And then I have 5 is equal to m. All right, so for the next one, these are the variables with both sides. So, color, that's not gonna stand out, sorry guys. All right, so with these, you wanna do the first step of move the variable, okay? You don't need to distribute, you don't need to combine like terms. So I'm gonna move the variable. You could always move the variable to the left. You could always get rid of the small variable. I'd say whatever you do, just keep consistent. This specific part, there's no wrong answer. So this would turn into 10p. Okay. Next step, add or subtract the constant. So I want to get rid of the one on the side of the variable. So the variable is on the left side of the equal. And so the constant I need to get rid of is negative 13. So I'm going to add 13 to both sides. And I get 10p is equal to negative 10. Okay. Next step, divide by 10. P is equal to negative 1. All right, so same thing over here. We're going to move the variable and then add or subtract the constant and then multiply or divide the coefficient. So it's up to you on which one you want to move. We can move the 4, right? We can just move it to the left side. It doesn't always have to be the smallest variable. This is probably the one, like I said, one of the few steps that doesn't matter which one you pick. You'll still get the same answer regardless. So that'd be fun if you try the other way and you added 7x on both sides and you go through the steps and to see if you still got the same answer. But for the sake of the time of the video, I won't. So the next thing I do is I get rid of the constant. So I'm going to add the constant on both sides. So I get negative 3x equals 27. Next step is divide by negative 3. And I get x is equal to negative 9. All right, so next up we have equation with combined like terms. So that's going to be the second step right here. So these are on the same side of the equal. So you're only going to do just the left side of the equal or just the right side of the equal. So over here, just on the left side of the equal, there is nothing to combine. So you could actually just write it all over again. So you could write out m minus 1 equals. But if we go on the right side, right, so we combine the like terms. So these two could combine, and that gives us 8m minus 8. Okay? All right, so next step is we are going to move the variable. So for this one, I'm just going to move it to the left. So I get rid of the variable on the right. When we move the variable, we're adding or subtracting them on both sides. All right, so you get negative 7m minus 1 equals negative 8. Okay, next step, add or subtract the constant. So it's going to be on this side because we want to get rid of the constant on the side of the variable. So we're going to get rid of this minus 1 with the plus 1. and then we're going to divide by our coefficient. And so m is equal to positive 1. All right, so similar over here, we're going to combine the like terms. So over here, the like terms were 3m and 5m. Over here, the like terms are negative 5c and 3c. And over here, it's 15 and negative 4. So when you combine these two together, you get negative 2c. Bring down your negative 4c. Combine those. This becomes a positive 11. All right, so I'm going to move the variable. And I get 2c minus 11 equals 11. Next step, add or subtract the constant. So I'm going to add 11 to both sides. And I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And c is equal to 11. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. So I have distribution. What that means is I'm going to take the number in front of the parentheses and multiply it by everything inside the parentheses. So the only numbers that are affected are going to be these numbers right here. Okay, so everything on the left stays the same. Okay, now I need to move the variable. And I get 8x plus 32 equals negative 8. All right, so next up is I'm going to move the constant by subtracting it. And then those cancel, and I have 8x equals negative 40. After that, I need to divide the coefficient by, the coefficient's 8, so I divide both sides by the coefficient, which is 8. And then I get x equals negative 5. So that would be your final answer. All right, so I'm going to do distribution over here. So this number, negative 5, is going to distribute to everything in that parentheses. This number 5 is going to distribute to everything in that parentheses. So negative 5 times negative 4r is a positive 20r. Negative 5 times negative 6, that's a positive number. So I'm going to put is a plus because we are now doing with a positive number. And then over here, this is a positive 30. And this is a negative 5r. Okay, next step, after I do distribution, combine like terms. I actually don't need to do that step because there's nothing to combine. So next step is going to be move the variable. So after I can't combine any like terms, so I'm going to add 5r on both sides. And then it cancels out on the right, and I get 25r plus 30 equals 30. And I think this is where people get confused with no solutions because they're going to take away the 30. And they see it cancels out here and here, and then they're like, whoa, like, I don't know, is this no solutions? No, it's not. It's only no solutions if you cancel out both of the variables. So we got to think about what we have left. So on the left side of the equal, all I have is 25r. On the right side of the equal, that cancels. So if this cancels and this cancels, you're essentially left with nothing. And we represent nothing with 0. So divide both sides by 25, and your r is equal to 0. All right, so let's take a look at the next page. So the next page starts off with combining everything that we saw above. So one second. Okay, so we're going to continue to the second page. So we're going to go through a little bit faster just because we've already gone through the steps a little bit slower. So now we kind of know what's going on. So we're going to take this negative 7 and distribute it. We're going to take this 4 and distribute it as well. Okay, sorry about that. So we're going to distribute the -7 and distribute that 4. So this plus 3 doesn't get affected at all, and you do not combine these first. That's another big mistake I see. We don't add first. We need to distribute first. So we take just the number in front of the parentheses and distribute. So you get -28x minus 49 equals 3 minus 16 minus 24x. Okay, so next step would be combine like terms. So the like terms you need to combine are 3 and -16. If it's on the same side of the equal, that's what I mean by combine like terms. You just, whatever you see as an operation, you do. So you don't put 3 minus -16 or anything like that. In your calculator, you just put 3 minus 16. And in your calculator, you should get -13. And then you put everything else the same. Okay, next step, we're going to move the variable. So I'm just going to move the one on the right. Cancel. We get -4x minus 49 equals -13. We're going to add 49 on both sides. -4x equals 36. Divided by -4. X is equal to -9. All right, same thing with the distribution over here. If there is a negative in front of the number or a subtraction in front of the number you're distributing, that goes with it. So it's -3 times +1 and -3 times +5. This one is a -8 times h and a -8 times a -4. So this becomes -3 minus 15h. Nothing changes with my -6h right here, so I'm just going to put that. -8 times h is -8h. -8 times -4 is a positive number, so you're going to represent that positive with a plus. All right, so we're going to combine like terms. So the like terms I can combine on this side are -6h and -15h. And then over here, it's going to be 32 plus 4. That's what I'm going to combine. So I get -21h minus 3 equals -8h plus 36. All right, so next step is move the variable. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Like I said, it doesn't matter which one you pick. This one actually doesn't matter. But once you're on the side of where the variable is, that's how you know which one to get rid of for the constant. So because my variable is on the left side, I need to get rid of the constant on the left side of the equal, right? This side of the equal is where the variable is. This is the side I need to get rid of the constant. So I get rid of the 3. That's also a common mistake I see is people try to get rid of 36 and they have a 0 over here and then it gets really messy. So just move the constant on the side of the variable. So -13n equals 39. Divide by -13, and then n is -3. All right, so more distribution. I'm going to take this 4, distribute it, take this 3, distribute it. Nothing changes with the +5 right now, and nothing changes with the +11 right now. Okay, so 4 times 2x and 4 times 3, that's going to give me 8x plus 12 plus 5, that stays the same, equals 3 times 3x is 9x, 3 times -2 is a -6. All right, so still need to combine the like terms. These are my like terms right here, and these are my like terms right here. If there's a plus in front of it, treat it like a positive or an add. If there's a subtraction or a negative, treat it like a subtraction or a negative, right? We've discussed this before in class and when you use what. So 8x plus 12 equals 9x plus 5. All right, next step, move the variable. So I'm just going to move it to the left because this is what matches the key that I have, or at least the key that's going to be posted. But like I said, you could have moved 8x. It doesn't matter. All right, so -1x plus 12 equals 5. and then divide by, oh, yeah, oh, I made a mistake. When I combine these two, this should have been 17. Whoopsies. I don't have a eraser, so we're going to use whiteout. Okay, so those two combined gave me 17, 17. So I'm going to subtract 17 on both sides, and I get negative 1x equals negative 12. Divide both sides by negative 1. X is equal to a positive 12. All right, so for this one, same thing. We're going to distribute the number outside the parentheses. Distribute the number outside the parentheses. So plus 4 and plus x are not affected at all. So take the 5, distribute, take the 2, distribute. So you get 10x minus 15 plus 4 equals 6x plus 14 plus x. So the next step after that is we're going to combine like terms. So the like terms on the left side of the equal are going to be negative 15 plus 4. And the like terms on the right side are going to be this 6x and then this x over here. So we get 10x, and then those two combine to negative 11. And then these two combine to 7x plus 14. So move the variable. I'm going to move the 7x by subtracting it. So you get 3x minus 11 equals 14. I'm going to add 11. 3x equals 26. I'm sorry, 3x equals 25. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 3. This one feels tricky because you leave it as a fraction. So you leave it as 25 over 3, and that would be your final answer. Because it's a repeating decimal, it looks better to leave it as a fraction. If it was something like 0.5 or 0.25, then I think it'd be better to leave it as a decimal. Actually, at that point, it doesn't really matter. Okay, sorry for the delay. We had the bell rang, so I had to take a break. So getting back in. So we're going to take a look at the special cases. So first up is distribution. So this 5 right here is going to be distributed to the n as well as the 2. So I have 3 plus 5n equals 5n plus 10, and then my minus 7 stays the same. All right, next up, combine like terms. I'm going to combine these like terms right here. And those like terms, it combine to be a 3. So 3 plus 5n equals 5n plus 3. Okay, next up, move the variable. Okay, if both variables are canceled, you're either going to be left with a true statement or a false statement. True statement means all real numbers. And if it was false, it would be no solution. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. So I'm going to distribute the negative 2. So this negative 2 right here gets distributed to v as well as the negative 2 right here. So negative 2 times v is negative 2v. Negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. Okay, next move the variable. So I'm going to move the variable to v. And I get 4 is equal to negative 3. This statement is false, so it's no solution. All right, so over here is the distribution. So we're going to distribute first. So this 3 is going to distribute to the 2x and the 4. So 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, next up is combine like terms. So I'm going to combine the 6x with a minus x. So that gives me a positive 5x plus 12 equals 5x plus 12. All right, so I'm going to move the variable. Cancel, cancel. I get 12 is equal to 12. This is true, So my answer is all real numbers. Remember, your answer is not true. Your answer is all real numbers, infinite solutions, anything like that. Okay, last one on this page. I have 4. It's going to get distributed to the 2 and the 3. And then I have, that's the only distribution. Okay, so I have 8x plus 12 minus x equals negative 4 plus 7x plus 15. Okay, combine like terms. So one side at a time. So left side equal, I have 8x minus x gives me a positive 7x. Okay, plus 12 stays the same. And then I have a negative 4 plus 15. 7x stays the same. When I combine these two, I get a positive 11. Next step, move the variable. Cancel, cancel. And then I get 12 equals 11. This is a false statement, so my answer is no solution.